So, um, welcome to the Just Mates podcast. This is technically a video series, first of many, I believe, Sam. Today we're going to be answering some questions from Reddit regarding mental health, maybe some questions that haven't been answered or discussed properly, but this is heavily based on the males suffering mental health problems.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll pull up a bunch of questions, or we haven't actually looked at the questions yet, we just want to kind of fire them off. So I'm on a subreddit which is on /depression_help, and what we'll do is we'll pick out maybe a couple in here and then give our thoughts and opinions and what you should kind of do to sort these issues out. But obviously this is a bit different from our audio series. But yeah, we don't want everything to be the same.
No, exactly.
So, my job causes me depression. So, I am a solo breadwinner and my job is killing me. Best part is the company is shutting down or being bought over. Not concluded yet, so he doesn't know. And I plan to start up my own home bake business. This is good, but I cannot live with the uncertainty, as there's a heap of utilities and debt to clear. What do I do? Oh, there's so much in that question.
I know. Okay, so first off, his job is causing me depression. I guess he hasn't really told us what is killing him about the job, though.
Yeah.
Is there more to it? Or?
So, yeah, let me just look into the comments here. No, nothing that I can see that is going on here at all. And it's not really linked. He hasn't really said how it's made him feel, in a sense.
No.
But he says it is killing him, so I'm guessing it's just causing him a lot of anxiety and stuff. And as you would do, working for a company that's been shut down or bought over. And he plans to start his home bake business. So starting your own business is one of the most stressful things to do.
Yeah. There's a lot to consider. But I recently, funnily enough, heard on another podcast about starting a business.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this massive misconception of you need thousands of pounds to start a business. You really don't. You can invest in cheaper materials for now to be more efficient. You can work towards a better sustainable lifestyle, and even if you do get the cheaper materials, for instance these cooking materials, you can still get the job done. You don't have to be spending thousands at first. Make your money first, see how well it goes. If it goes well, look at your success rate of the venture that you're setting out to do. And all you just need is passion, really, I think.
I think that's true, and it depends the type of business that you're going into, that you'll need different levels of investment. So if you're going into something which requires quite a little bit of capital and stuff, then that's going to be like this bread business. He's gonna need money for overheads and resources and things to get things up and starting. Whereas if we were going to start a company in design and marketing, we'd probably have to spend a lot less in getting things up and running.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't start a business without having something else as a backup. So I would do it kind of on the side. That's kind of what I would do, is like the security element.
And also, when you start a business, you've got to remember, one of you's got to be, or you've got to have this in you to be a business person. Yeah. Regardless of the industry, you have to have that business mindset. If someone comes to you with a price of a product or price of a meal or price of something, you can't just be circumstantial and change it every time.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have you need to be able to answer people effectively and professionally. So if someone asks you how much something is, you can't just beat around the bush. Obviously it depends on the industry. Sometimes design jobs can vary, but you should have that sort of set standard for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you don't have any authority and you're stuttering all the time when someone asks you how much something is, more times than not people aren't going to come back to you. So,
well, he says in here that there's a bunch of utilities and a debt to clear. I think, to be honest with you, I would get another job to clear off that debt, because there's an immense amount of responsibility and risk associated with starting your own business. And you need to, for me personally, to go into your own business, you need to. He hasn't listed how many years he's been working in this. So if it's been like a year that he's been in this type of breadwinner, what does he say he does? Home bake business. So if he's only been in that for like 1 or 2 years, he hasn't got enough experience and networking to actually provide such as a certainty that he'd actually do a good job. So I would have years of experience before starting a business, and actually have been in a good place mentally, if you can, before you start anything, and have the resources and networking opportunities that are available. So I don't think starting a business is a good idea, because you think when starting a business you kind of have your own working hours, because to an extent you do, and you have control, but you're working 7 days a week.
There's a massive misconception. I think people tend to look down on people that have got 9 to 5, for example, and you're like, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with working for someone. Some people don't want to work for someone, they want to work for themselves, but the biggest misconception is that you have a level of freedom when you work for yourself. It's not always that way. When you become your own manager, you've then got to manage your own social media, you've got to manage your business hours, you've got to manage the product that you're selling, efficiently manage your time. It's not just easy going.
It's not. It's so much hard. If you ask any person that has owned their business, like, I can't remember what the statistic is, but most businesses fail within the first couple of years.
Yes, and it is literally more likely to happen. So if you want to clear your debt, this person, for instance, wants to get rid of his debts and start his own business because he thinks that will be a benefit.
It's not.
Weigh your pros and cons. You have to work out, well, if I'm in debt, do I really want to be in more debt by buying more utilities?
Yeah, because
it's a risk factor.
Because chances are you might have to go to the bank to get a loan, or speak to a person to give you money to start up. Because if he's got enough debt, and think about it logically, because if he's got enough debt, then obviously he doesn't have enough money to pay off the debt. Therefore, he probably wouldn't have enough to start his own business. So contradicting himself. Like, I don't think it's a good idea.
So maybe the industry he's in is causing him depression. Maybe the company he's in,
that's true,
within the industry is causing him depression. Maybe change jobs. Find a part-time job, maybe, so you can work part-time on your own business in your own time. Part-time working in within industry or whatever. It doesn't have to be industry based. It could be retail, could be anything. Get your money up, have a substantial amount that you can fall back onto. Don't waste it all in one go when you do get that money. Think about it, like,
just rationalise
your whole plan. You need a plan. You can't just go out there without thinking about what you're going to do in a week's time, 2 weeks' time.
I would be saying something different if he'd been doing this for, I don't know if it's a he or she, but if they've been doing this for like 10 years and they know people and stuff, but they haven't given enough information. But if you think starting your own business, I think we cap it off here. I think that if they can start your own business, you really have to kind of weigh up: are you in a good state emotionally, financially, and professionally speaking? Your skills there? And if it's no to any of those things, do not do it.
Yeah, exactly. So just weigh your pros and cons and make a rational decision.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll read out this and kind of summarise it. So, unable to listen to others' mental health stories. Never heard of this type of thing before.
No.
So, I'm sorry for taking up your time. It's a good way to start it. When I hear others talk about their mental health experiences, as a knee-jerk response, I get weirdly defensive and, I don't know, dismissive. Like, lots of my friends use depression and anxious, we've talked about this before, as descriptors of short-term moods, which we've talked in before.
Yeah.
Which really annoys me, because it feels like it takes away the weight of those words, which we said before. I know it's stupid. And then they go off to say they hate it, and they're kind of saying that they wish they could be just a good, normal, supportive friend.
Yeah.
But we've kind of spoken about this before, in the sense of, when I said, if someone's just generally clean as a person, and then they kind of say, oh, that's just my OCD kicking in, but it's not.
Yeah, and I think as well, not everybody has to be that supportive friend. If you're being supportive and it feels like a burden, then you're kind of doing it for the wrong reasons, because you're not helping yourself, you're not helping the person, you're now coming away with more baggage than you went in with. So this supportive system, it is good to be that supportive friend, it's good to be able to be the person someone can talk to. But if you aren't that person, it's not so much a negative. Like, there will be a group of friends, and each person in that friendship will have a different role. Someone will be supportive, someone will be the motivator, someone will be the person you can come to with a relationship advice, someone will be there for sports and exercise. Everybody, they don't realise it, but everyone has a different role in that friendship circle. So if you're not the supportive friend and you feel like you can't be there for people in a in mental health capacity. Find another trait about yourself that you can help someone with. Supportive doesn't just mean mind state. It can be encouragement. It could be just getting someone out to run for the morning, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, I understand.
Everyone has a different role in a friendship.
Yeah, and don't put too much pressure on yourself for that. And yeah, I get what they're saying here. And she said, I think he or she says that they feel stupid, or for being kind of dismissive, and I can see what they're saying when their friends say. Lots of my friends use depression anxious description for short-term moods. Like, that's like when I was saying, like, when I was a kid, I used to say I was depressed a lot.
Yeah.
But it was until when I was in my teenage years of young adult life that I realised what actual depression was, because it's the people that haven't experienced it don't know what it's like.
And sometimes if you don't have that capacity, the mental capacity to allow yourself to be there for someone, maybe you're the person who needs some support first. Maybe you need to find yourself, maybe you need to discuss your own issues, and you don't have to be that person that helps everyone. Not everyone has to be that person.
No, you don't want to get sucked in with things like I said with the drama triangle and the audio series. Like, just step out of things if it's too much, and if it's consuming you, if it's, you know, all of this rubbish, then you just don't need that.
No.
But yeah, I can see what she's saying, and yeah, a lot of us do feel like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So should we go on to another one?
Yeah, let's go on to another one. So, lack of motivation. So overall, been feeling shitty. I'm 17, by the way, and generally stressed about life and all that. Okay. Well, it's just deal with lack of motivation, and what I'm getting from the sense of it is young, and I can see some things in education. So he's not meeting the grades. The personal experiences haven't been so great. Not feeling himself. There's loads of things, and I think this is kind of like an educational sort of thing. So a lack of motivation to be good in education, which we could translate that into work life. But I think just lack of motivation in general, like motivation will only get you so far to do things. It's consistency and being able to kind of go out every day, even if you don't feel like it, and just doing
pushing
it,
yourself,
just doing it anyway.
But a big thing from this is he said he's 17, or she said they're 17. You do not need to put yourself through that much strain at that time.
No.
At that point, you're maturing, you're finding yourself, you still don't know what kind of person you are. Some people have it all together at that age, some people have it all together and been forced to mature at 13, 14, depending on like home situation. But not everyone has to have it together, not even when you're, there's no age cap for your milestones. Everybody's milestones are different. So somebody could be 17 and have achieved a business, but somebody could be 25 and having opened their business and feel the exact same level of happiness.
I think as long as you kind of have your life in a little bit of rough order by the time you hit 30, prior to that, I mean, you know what I mean?
To be fair, for this person to be able to express their feelings like this, one, it's great that he's actually talking about his problems, and two, he's actually trying to do something about it, because he's acknowledged his issue.
That's the first step.
That's the first step, acknowledging your issue.
Yeah.
So he's realised he lacks motivation. He's not just sitting there like just being depressed about it and not doing anything about it. He's trying to find a solution, and that is kind of a level of maturity, because he's 17 and he wants to be able to do all these things.
Most 17-years wouldn't write that.
No, exactly.
That. So that in itself should be motivation for him to he's what's the word? He knows himself and what he's like, and to have that acknowledgement at 17, that is brilliant. But like I said, it's motivation to me is bullshit. It only works for. You know, have you ever been like, before you've done something and you've watched loads of motivational videos
and it does nothing?
And it does nothing, and you're thinking, what is wrong with me? But motivation will only get you so far.
And motivation spurts come at different times.
Yeah,
like, there's been so many times when I've gone out for a run and I've thought, at the start of the run, I thought I'm only going to run 3k. As soon as I hit that start timer on my app that I use, Nike Run app, I'll hit 3k. And when it plays in my headphones that I've hit 3k, I'll carry on going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go over, like it tells you you've exceeded your kilometre range to 4k, to 5k, to 6k. And there's been so many times where I've clicked 3k and I've run about 10k or 7k. And that motivation spurt came during running. It didn't come at the start. It didn't come prior to me planning about being motivated. These things happen differently for different people.
Yeah, and different people to react to different people have different motivations. I mean, it's a given, and he or she's relating this to kind of education. Like education might not be your bag. I remember when I was in A-levels and that sort of thing. I mean, I only got kind of motivated and consistent with things when I went to university.
But that was your milestone.
That was my milestone.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to I wouldn't say force yourself, but kind of acknowledge that you don't have to be motivated for it, but you should, if it means a lot to you, go forward. Yeah. And even if it's shit, do it.
I think there's just a level of passion you need for whatever you do, and it will drive you forward.
Yeah, break through the wall and just get on with it.
So if you are feeling demotivated, all I can really say is find something that makes you want to become a better person.
Start with your why. Why are you doing it in the first place? And if your why isn't strong enough, then
find a different source of motivation. And once you found the why, you find out what you need to do. And after you've found out what you need to do it.
Yeah. Really. I mean, and if your why is not strong enough for why you're going to do these sort of things, then eventually you're not going to be motivated enough to do it.
And maybe there's just not enough passion there.
Yeah, and you could be doing something else. And that's difficult to say with school because you're stuck in it. But school is not the be all and end all. It's
there's so many people that have got a number of GCSEs that most recruiters probably don't even look at.
No.
And you go forward in life and you achieve different things that are at a different level to a GCSE. And that will drive you forward in your life.
I mean, like, me and Naf have got pretty decent grades at university and stuff, and then I looked at this saying the other day, so what was it? A students work for the B students, the C students, C students own the businesses, and D students dedicate the buildings. So it's like, people are experts in different areas.
And just like we just mentioned for the other question, everyone's roles are different. So your role could be as a delegator, mine could be as the doer. And do you know what I mean? Or vice versa. We could all have a different role, but just because at some point in your life you're not fitting the role that you think you should, maybe you need to reevaluate what you're doing and find a source of motivation that will help you do what you want.
Yeah, cool.
So to conclude, that was our first of many video series for the Just Mates podcast.
Yeah, the videos might end up changing somewhere down the line, but we'll just see what the feedback says, and we just thought it'd be a good idea to have a look at some questions and then give our thoughts and opinions, and I think it went quite well. So
and also put our faces to the illustrations of the logo as well.
See how bold I'm going, how ugly Nafees.
That's why I'm wearing a hat. But you can find us on the socials at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter under the handle Just Mates Pod. If you want us to address anything in particular, you want us to talk about anything, any kind of topics, or you've got questions yourself, we'll compile a list of the feedback and we'll get back to you, and then we'll put something together for you. But this is probably just a trial and error kind of basis for the time being.
See how it works, and please subscribe now.
To our YouTube channel, which is Just Mates Podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, and like the video and comment.
Please, all the subscribers.
Do it.
We're not just saying this. All the subscribers do help, and obviously we want to reach as many people as we can, because I've already been told that quite a few people that have listened to us have benefited from it and related to it.
Yeah, so it's good.
If it's just our friends that are relating to it, surely there's got to be others that are feeling the same way.
Yeah, and if you've got any questions, please send that to us via our social pages or on Twitter. Put the hashtag JustMatesPod, and we'll answer the questions in a video like this, and we'll move forward from there.
Yeah. So we've been Just Mates Pod. I'm Nafees.
I'm Sam.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.